So I just got home from checking out M3GAN 2.0, and I'll be completely honest in saying that when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I thought it looked terrible. I was like, oh man, they took a charming horror comedy from a few years ago and just like took it to this new big over-the-top action adventure direction that just isn't gonna work. It looks so silly, it looks so stupid, and I walked out of the theater really surprised that I had a good time with this movie. While this film is definitely not a horror film anymore like the first film is, and it leans far more into being an action comedy, I found it to be a film that knew what it was. It was self-aware, it was tongue-in-cheek, it was silly, but it leaned into it. It was campy, and it was actually a lot of fun to watch. By the time you get to the end of the film, the characters go through arcs, most notably the character of Gemma, played by Allison Williams, as well as the character of Katie, the young girl from the first film, played by Violet McGraw, who's back once again now as a teenager. I thought that their new dynamic after the events of the first film was awesome. But then you have M3GAN in the mix, who I actually was surprised to see myself actually more engaged with in this film. By the time we got to the end of the film, I was wondering, oh my god, am I actually like emotionally connected a little bit more to M3GAN? In the first film, she's a cool, horror slasher that's introduced in the modern day. I loved seeing the pop culture explosion of her with Halloween Horror Nights and just costumes in general. But to see her in this film be kind of handled in a completely different way, in a way that I thought was going to be terrible, and actually walk out of the film having had a pretty good time, having found it to be a pretty silly, fun, over-the-top movie that just knows what it is and isn't taking itself seriously, I was actually really surprised by that. I think this is a film that's going to work for some and not work for others. I talked to some other of my fellow critics who saw the film alongside me at the early screening. Some really enjoy it. Some thought it was good for what it is, and some thought it was terrible. But I think if you like silly comedies, this may be up your alley.